Hey, welcome. It's Chris Kirkpatrick with Rideshare Driving Secrets, and I wanted to congratulate you for taking the step and jumping through this, and and committing to taking the step to invest in your rideshare driving business. And before I get into the one secret, because it is, I'm telling you, by the end of this video, I promise you, you're going to have the trick that you need. And it's not even a trick, it's a simple just process, but you're going to know exactly what you need to do to give yourself a $4 an hour raise. Minimal. I mean, I'm telling you, minimal. Now, and I can tell you that because I've talked to hundreds of rides. I've given over 1,000 rides in a month. I mean, I'm jamming out right now, and in everything that I'm hearing in response from the passengers, from other drivers that I'm interviewing and talking to, nobody's doing this, and it'll make a huge impact in your ratings. It'll make a huge impact in the tips that you receive. It'll make a huge impact in your hourly rate that you're receiving just in pay from Uber and Lyft and all these rideshare companies on top of it. But I want you to think about something before we get going into this, because it's really vital. It's pivotal that you understand this, because if you are a rideshare driver right now, what I've noticed, or what I've learned, is nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, you know what, I really want to be a rideshare driver, right? That's nobody's dream, is really to become a rideshare driver. A lot of people, yeah, it's fun. You definitely make some really good relationships, and you make it what it is, right? You make the best out of it. But I don't think anybody's like, you began their year, they didn't make their New Year's resolution, if you will, to like become a rideshare driver, and they were like super pumped about it. But what I could tell you is, if you want to make the best of it, it's awesome, and you can make good money. And for a lot of people, maybe they got into this because they were like, I was making $15 an hour before. If I could be a rideshare driver, make that or better, and have freedom of my time, then that's awesome. And there's a huge group of people out there like that, and that's awesome. If that's you, phenomenal. You're in the right place. This is great. And so here's the thing that I want to challenge you on, though, before I get into anything, that you really need to think about, because it's the number one thing that I've noticed in talking to other drivers that I feel is holding them back, and I don't want this to happen to you. So before I tell you how to give yourself a raise, I want you to think about this. Now, most drivers that I talk to get into this, and they were an employee of a company before. And if you were an employee before, you were used to working for somebody, you were getting paid, even if you kind of messed around on your phone and messed around on Facebook and did these things and weren't necessarily super effective or efficient in what you were doing, you were still getting paid. Now, when you became a rideshare driver, essentially what you did is you launched your own business. So you need to start to think like an entrepreneur. You need to start being a problem solver and really being proactive, and you really need to hustle. They call this a side hustle. And if you want to be a successful rideshare driver, you want to stick out, you want to get good ratings, you want to get more tips, you want to make more than the average driver, you need to do more than the average driver. You're not going to just be able to kind of like skate by and make good money. If you try to skate by and operate like you were operating when you were getting paid $12 to $15 an hour or anything of that nature, you're going to get paid that kind of income. However, if you're willing to hustle, if you're willing to grind, if you're willing to really go the extra mile and put the effort into this, then you can make a lot of money. Now, this is the thing. I said it a little bit before, but most of the training that exists out there by Uber, from Lyft, and all these other companies, they're not geared towards you maximizing profitability as a driver. Most of the training out there exists to create a great passenger experience. Now, the disconnect there is, my belief is that an amazing driver experience will lead to an amazing passenger experience. And I can tell you that because I've proven it already. I've got a 4.98 star driver rating on both Uber and Lyft, and I'm making over $28 an hour. I just get amazing compliments, and you go the extra mile for people. You do all these things, and I'll get into some of that stuff after. But those are the things that you need to do, and it really does matter. A lot of people are like, "Oh, my driver rating doesn't matter." Yes, it does, because it just proves how much effort you're putting into this. There's a culture to this. You need to embody that culture, and you need to live that culture, and really have fun with it. I mean, not every passenger is going to want that, but I'm telling you, most of them do. So okay, let's get into it. What's the number one secret that I have? So let me start with this. What is Uber? What are these rideshare, Lyft and Uber, Juno, all these companies, what do they tell you to do? They tell you, when you get a ride request, you accept it, you got the pin drop, you got to show up at that place, and then you got to wait. and when you pull up, the rider will be notified, and then wait 5 minutes. Lyft even has a countdown timer that gives you 5 minutes, and then only at the end of that timer does Lyft say, hey, call them. It's time to call the passenger now. But so here's the deal. What's the reasoning behind that? So my belief is their reasoning behind that is they don't want you to bug the customer. They don't think it's necessarily duplicatable for drivers to be able to create a really good passenger experience by just calling them ahead of time. They don't want the passengers to feel rushed or hurried or harassed or anything of that nature. So I'm gonna challenge that, and I get that. I get that to a certain extent. Why they're saying that, because there's some people who are drivers who just don't get that, or their communication skills aren't where they need to be, or whatever. But you're watching this video. You have proven, just because you've given your information, just because you're watching this free video, you're committed to your business, your own entrepreneurial venture, which is this rideshare company that you are now running. You need to shift your mind around that and realize you are running your own company at this moment. At this very moment in time, you are now running your own company. And so with that, you are investing in your company to do that. And so that tells me you are capable of doing what I'm about to tell you. And that is, don't get there and wait until you call them. You need to call them literally when you are on your way to pick them up. And so here's the deal. Let's say I'm picking up Joe. This is my conversation. I'm on my way to pick up Joe. Let's say I have about 5 to 7 minutes to pick up Joe. When I'm about 3 to 4 minutes away from picking up Joe, I'm going to call Joe, and I'm going to be like, "Hey Joe, it's Chris with Uber. or Chris with Lyft, or whoever. I'm your rideshare driver, and I just wanted to make sure, the pin drop says you're here. What's the best place? A lot of times the pin drop is a little wonky on these GPS systems, and I just wanted to make sure you are exactly where it says you are, or if you're someplace different, what's the best way, what's the most convenient place for me to pick you up?" And I just go from there. And most of the time, they're like, "Whoa, hey, that's awesome, man. That's like, you know what? The pin drop does say here. I didn't know why it did that." And let me tell you, what happened to me when I was first driving, a lot of times you go to pick people up in bars, and there's these strip malls, or you're picking them up at the store, or getting their hair done in these strip malls, and they request the ride. They're in the back of the store. A lot of times there's a neighborhood behind the store. I was getting shipped around to the neighborhood in the back, waiting for 5 minutes, and they were like, after 5 minutes, I'd call them, and they're like, "Dude, I'm in the strip mall around the front." So I'd have to drive all the way around. The average pickup time was taking me 10 to 12 minutes, and that's not sustainable. You only get paid when you're driving rideshare when you're moving people. You don't get paid for waiting. You get paid a little, but it's literally minimum wage to get paid to wait. So you want to reduce. If you want to give yourself a raise, you need to reduce the wait time. You need to reduce the downtime. And so let's say you're working 8 hours a day. And if you're doing 8 hours a day, whether it's a part-time thing and you're just kind of doing 8 hours at night or whatever, so I'm just going to use the 8 hour a day model. That's about 20 rides a day that you can get in at 8 hours a day. Let's say, about 2.5 rides an hour is what you can crank out. If that's what you're doing and you're waiting anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes per ride, that's a lot of downtime. Let's say you could reduce that to 2 minutes per ride. I mean, that's what I have. When you call these people up, you can reduce your wait time to pick up. My wait time right now, and I've got it tracked, is under 1.5 minutes. And if you want to get paid more, you need to get more rides in the same period of time. And just by doing that, just by calling them ahead, not harassing them. Remember, the key to this strategy is not just calling and be like, "Yo, I'm coming in hot. Be ready. I'm going to be there in 3 minutes, blah, 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 blah." It's got to be about their experience. It's got to be about, hey, the system, put yourself on the same team as them. The system screws up all the time. I wanted to make sure I wasn't wasting your time. I wanted to make sure, if there's any more convenient way for me to reach you, to meet you, to find you, let me know. I'm here for you. I want to serve you. And that's the energy you have to convey to them. And if you do that, they're going to be ready faster. A lot of times, I can't tell you when it says rider notified on the Uber app, especially, a lot of times they come out and they go, "Wow, I see them." They come out and they show me their phone. It says, and even though I called them and told them I was there, it still says I'm 2 minutes out. So there's a lot of glitches, and it's a little wonky the way the system works. And when you call them, you eliminate that I guess, problem, that just technical issue that exists. And I'm sure they'll fix it over time, but it creates communication. I get more compliments, more driver 5-star rating, or more 5-star ratings from passengers. I get more tips because people are like, dude, like, no driver has ever done that before. I get passengers all the time who are like, you know what, you're the first driver. It always screws up the pin drop here. You're the first driver that's ever called me, that's ever picked me up in a timely manner, that's ever been able to kind of get around this issue. And because of that, I'll get a $5 tip. I mean, so I keep my tips right here. I literally, last night, I had my first pickup. I picked up this guy, literally $22. He had this in his pocket. $22 tip. He's like, you're the first person. He was traveling back to Utah, and he's like, you're the first person that's ever done this for me. That, like, I've requested rides 20 times from this location. Every driver screwed it up. You got it right, dude. You're awesome. $22. It's what he had in his pocket, and he gave it to me. It was crazy, but that's the kind of stuff. It shows you're intentional. It shows that you are very focused, that you're a professional, that you care about your job, and people want to compensate you for caring, for going that extra mile. If you're just winging it, and if you're just, kind of like every other driver out there, expect to get paid like other drivers. If you want 5% results, you need to act like the 5% of the successful drivers. And I promise you, they're not just winging it. They're being very intentional. They got a strategy, they got a system, and that's it. So, with that said, I want to offer you a deal right now. Like, if you think that you could benefit from this, I'm telling you, just this one tip, if you go out and implement this and you're driving 40 hours a week, you're going to make an extra $160 just with this one tip. And what I want to do is I want to sell you give you the opportunity to take advantage of my Rideshare Driving Secrets course. And what this course is basically the whole systematic approach that I use, all the tips, the tricks, the tools, the apps, all the secrets that I use, strategies that I use, the times that I work, the places I work, stuff that will work in any market, any city, any region around the world, that you can implement in your business that'll give you a raise no matter where you are. Like I said, it brought me from $14 an hour to $28 an hour. And I will teach you all the ins and outs of everything that I've done. Now, you're not required to do this. I have a YouTube channel you can go check out. I got some good information there. I'm going to be like kind of having a video blog on YouTube about all this stuff, because there's a huge market for this. But I want you to be successful. I want you to be in the top 5%, making 25, 24, 25, 28 bucks an hour, depending on your market and what you're doing. And there's no reason you shouldn't be. There really is no reason you shouldn't be. And my challenge to you is, if you want to do this, why do it halfway? You might as well just go all the way with it. And so here's the deal. Normally this course will sell for $497. I literally just launched. So for the next 100 people that take advantage of it, I'm going to go $197. Literally $197. That's all it's going to cost. And if you don't make an extra $5 an hour and you can just show that to me, then I will give you your money back. Literally 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. And it really is that simple. No questions asked. You just need to go out, implement strategically, take advantage of everything that I show you in that course. And I promise you, you will crush it. You will take your income. You will give yourself a huge raise. I can't think of another industry in the world where you have the ability to just make a couple little tweaks and give yourself a 100% raise. I went from making $14 an hour to $28 an hour. And if I could get you from $14, $15 to $22, $23, $24 an hour, that's freaking awesome. That's amazing. So wherever you're at, no matter where you're at, take the information from this course, apply it to your life. If you don't get a $5 an hour raise over the next 90 days, I'll give you your money back. I mean, it really is that simple. So feel free to connect with me. Click on the link below if you're interested, and I'm telling you, it'll give you the opportunity to upgrade your account right now. You'll have immediate access to the course. Immediate access. It's all digitally. You'll have a membership site. You'll be able to go online, go through the video courses, and just I'm going to guide you through step by step things you need to do right now to create a systematic approach to your rideshare driving business that will guarantee to give you a raise. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I look forward to connecting with you on YouTube and seeing you around online. And feel free to go to Rideshare Driving Secrets, facebook.com/Rideshare Driving Secrets. And you can connect with me on the Facebook group as well. It's going to be a special group for trying to create a community around just the rideshare driving and giving people just kind of support and all that stuff as well. And that's it. So anyway, God bless, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you around. All right, take care.